Welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now this bit is for the parents, guardians and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the Learn Live channel and to National Careers Week. Today we are with the Environment Agency for another episode of their week-long broadcast about all things careers. We are kicking off today finding out all about environment officer opportunities within the Environment Agency and what is out there waiting for you. But first, before we begin, please remember that if you have any questions, please use the live chat next to the video player. If you leave a question on the chat, one of our speakers will get back to you as soon as possible. So now, I'll be handing over the rest of the broadcast to Pam Reynolds, the Education to Professions Advisor at the Environment Agency. Over to you, Pam.
Welcome to the Environment Agency's Careers Week, Environment Officer Day. My name is Pam Reynolds and I am the Education to Profession Advisor, and I'm going to be talking to you about the massive benefits of becoming an Environment Officer, the opportunities, the training benefits, and why you should work for the Environment Agency. You will now have the opportunity to meet some of our very own Environment Officers and learn why they chose to come and work for the Environment Agency as Environment Officers, the kind of training that they've undergone, and what they hope to achieve and moving forward in their careers. Enjoy. Who are we? The Environment Agency is a government agency established in 1996 to protect and improve the environment. We have around 10,600 employees working across England. And one of the benefits of working for the Environment Agency is that not only can you work in the field or work in the office or have a job which is a mixture of the two, we also have jobs where you are called national roles, where you work across England. You tend to be based at home and there's a bit more travel involved. So there's a real mixture of jobs in the Environment Agency. What do we do? We work to create better places for people and wildlife and support sustainable development. Within England, we're responsible for regulating major industry and waste treatment of contaminated land, water quality and resources, fisheries, inland river, estuary and harbour navigations, conservation and ecology. We're also responsible for managing the risk of flooding from main rivers, reservoirs, estuaries and the sea. And if you come and work for us, you'll be part of creating this climate resilient nation. What are our priorities? Our priorities are to work with businesses and other organisations to manage the use of resources, increase the resilience of people, property and businesses to the risks of flood and coastal erosion, protect and improving water, land and biodiversity, improve the way we work as a regulator to protect people and the environment and support sustainable growth. These talks this week are generally around career entry opportunities, but once you're working in the Environment Agency, there are so many opportunities and so many different areas you can work in. So as you can see from the slide, areas include nuclear, which you might not have thought of when you think about the Environment Agency, finance, marketing and communication, flood resilience, climate change and business, sustainability, research, field operations, hydrology and telemetry, even legal. So once you're in, the world is your oyster. There's so many opportunities to move around and develop and progress. There really is. Okay, so what career entry opportunities do we actually offer? Career entry opportunities include apprenticeships, internships and industry placements, environment officer training placements, civil engineering Quest scholarship, funded flood and coastal engineering foundation degree, bachelor degree and master's degree places, and the graduate engineer training program. Apprenticeships. An apprenticeship is a job with training and allows the apprentice to combine work and study by mixing on-the-job training and learning. So here is an example of some of the apprenticeships that we run here at the Environment Agency. We have a level 3 business administration, a level 3 assistant scientist, and then we have some higher level apprenticeships such as the environmental practitioner, science industry plant and process engineer, which is also known as a chemical engineer, and a civil engineering apprenticeship as well. Internships and industry placements. Here at the Environment Agency, an internship is a period of work-based experience, usually lasting 10 to 15 weeks. And an industry placement, or sandwich year, as you might know it as, is a 12-month to 54-week placement that counts towards a degree course. These placements are specifically aimed at undergraduates and new or recent graduates who have graduated in the past 2 years from a university or a college with at least a degree or foundation degree qualification. Recent internships and industry placement opportunities that we've advertised have included engineering, science and the environment, and business and communication. You now have the opportunity to meet some of our interns and industry placements and get a feel for how their experience went here at the Environment Agency and what it has led to. I know one of them has now got a full-time post here at the Environment Agency. So you never know where an internship or an industry placement will lead when you come and work for the Environment Agency. Graduate opportunities. Civil Engineering Quest Scholarship. We're looking for students starting an ICE or Institute of Civil Engineering accredited civil engineering degree in the autumn. This is around September. Quest undergraduate scholar could receive paid work placements every summer for the duration of their civil engineering degree. Potential for a full-time job with a leading civil engineering or construction company on graduation. And experience, knowledge and a badge of the Institute of Civil Engineering Quest Scholar. It's really good for your CV and your career, and especially if you want to become an incorporated or chartered engineer. To find out more information about the Quest Scholarship, you actually need to go to the ice.org.uk/Quest link, and they tend to recruit or begin recruiting around March, April. You will now have an opportunity to meet some of our scholars and graduates who are currently working at the Environment Agency and get a real feel for the work that they're doing and why they came to the Environment Agency and chose us, and where they plan to, their aspirations for the future as well. So enjoy. Slide 14, Flood and Coastal Engineering Foundation Degree, BSc and MSc opportunities. Here at the Environment Agency, we provide undergraduate and postgraduate work-based learning programmes in partnership with Brunel University London and Hale Wallingford. We'll pay for the tuition fees, saving students £9,250 per year, and students on a foundation degree and BSc also get an allowance of £1,000 a month, exempt from tax and national insurance while you're on training placements. For more information about these opportunities, visit the Brunel University website, which is brunel.ac.uk/flood and coastal engineering, or you can email the Environment Agency directly, emailing face@environment-agency.gov.uk. Graduate Engineer Training Programmes. We're looking for graduates every year with an MEng degree in civil engineering or equivalent. It's also essential that the degree is accredited by the Joint Board of Moderators, JBM, satisfying the academic requirements of becoming a chartered engineer. We offer a very competitive package with a range of benefits and the opportunity to make a real difference to the environment. And in addition, we offer flexi time and helping you to achieve your work-life balance. We advertise these on the Environment Agency website, or you can, and through our job site, which we'll find out at the end of the broadcast, or you can email gradengineers@environment-agency.gov.uk. Environment officers. So, being an environment officer is one of the most important roles at the Environment Agency. Environment officers regulate everything from waste management sites to farms and other agricultural land management activities across a range of urban and rural sites, all of which may impact on the local environment. If you come and work with us at the Environment Agency as an environment officer, you will receive the necessary training and development to ensure that you have the skills needed to perform the role of an environment officer to a very high standard. This will include a mixture of job training, mentoring, e-learning and some structured classroom-based learning sessions, which overall take about 18 months to complete. You will now have the opportunity to meet some of our very own environment officers and learn why they chose to come and work for the Environment Agency as environment officers, the kind of training that they've undergone and what they hope to achieve and moving forward in their careers. Enjoy.
Hello. My name is Charlotte. I'm 25 years old and I work for the Environment Agency as an environment officer in the waste team based here in the West Midlands. So you actually have quite a diverse role as an environment officer. The main focus of my job is regulating permitted waste facilities, which includes anything from civic amenity sites to transfer stations, anaerobic digesters, landfills, or even end-of-life vehicle centres. Essentially, I regulate against a list of requirements set out in a permit and the associated legislation, and I work with sites to create a cleaner, safer and healthier environment for both people and wildlife. If operators don't comply, my work may even lead to prosecutions and giving evidence in a courtroom. The job also has a frontline incident response element to it. This involves responding to environment incidents during the working day and out of hours, and this is where the diversity of the role really does kick in. We work very closely with partner agencies, local authorities, police, fire and rescue services, and even water companies when a range of incidents occur. Our aim, of course, is to reduce harm to people, wildlife, and the environment. Incidents can include flooding events, waste fires, fish kills, and water pollution from road traffic collisions or slow runoff from farms. So there's quite a lot to it, and you might wonder how you get into a role like this. Well, the truth is the Environment Agency is pretty flexible about the experience that you have. Before joining the Environment Agency, I was an environmental earth science graduate and had very little to no prior work experience, but I'd gain a range of skills that I could transfer from my degree and the associated field courses, and I was very passionate and interested in the environment and really wanted to make a difference. So this does lead me on to say why I would choose to work for the Environment Agency. So honestly, I could really associate with the Environment Agency's core values, those being working to create better places for people and wildlife, and then also supporting sustainable development. Frankly, the job also involves a fair bit of outdoor work too, which for somebody who loves the environment is a great bonus. So I'd say as an EO in the waste team, it's about a 50-50 split between office work and outdoor on-site work. So you also meet a whole load of people during this job and really create and build relations. You can also really see the difference that you're making quite quickly, which is also really rewarding. What appealed to me is the fact that the Environment Officer role also provides you with some pretty amazing development opportunities. Certainly when you start, you go through a 9-month training phase and get to choose a mentor to advise you through the work. There is a lot of support if you need it, from your team members, team leader, technical specialist, or even a mentor. When joining the waste team, you're given a site list from very early on. So this gives you a lot of responsibility and also allows you to quickly learn on the job too. So the Environment Agency also really promotes a sort of work-life balance, giving you 25 annual leave days when you start and up to 15 flexi days. So you accrue these as you work extra hours during the week. There are also no core hours. Of course, you have to liaise with your team leader about your working hours, but this sort of really helps with working around appointments or, for example, childcare arrangements. You also get environmental leave days where you can help out on local environmental projects. So I did one the other year with my team and we helped build an eco-friendly lodge made out of straw bales, wood, wool and car tyres. It was really great bonding experience for the entire team. So yeah, it's a really great opportunity that the Environment Agency allows you to do. I know at 25 this does seem a little premature thinking about a pension, but it's really reassuring to know that the Environment Agency offers an award-winning pension fund too. So additionally, as an environment officer, you receive a lease car for work and personal use, which is really quite amazing. So these are unmarked vehicles, and so there's no traceability when you go to sites, which provides real security and reassurance. A lot of the time we do attend sites double manned with colleagues, but we also often have to carry out work alone. But this is completely supported. With a lone worker dial-in system, I feel so safe when I'm on site alone. So within the Environment Agency, you also have opportunities to move around team. So you don't just have to stick within the waste team or your allocated team. Certainly within the training phases, of course, you're encouraged to get involved with other teams and to sort of understand what we do as a whole as the broader Environment Agency. So I spent days in the field with the hydrometry and telemetry team, measuring river flows. I spent days with the installation team where I'd help regulate a company in the food and drink sector. For example, the analysis and reporting team where I carried out a fish survey. And then I even attended a farm with the land and water teams collecting samples from a local watercourse which had been polluted. So once you have completed your training phase, there are also opportunities to take on assignments which can last from anything from 3 to 21 months. These allow you to work in other teams to develop both yourself and the waste team. So for example, most recently team members from my team, we've gone and worked with the crime team to clamp down on illegal waste sites. So I'm now in my 3rd year of working as an environment officer, and I became fully qualified last January. Honestly, there's still so much to learn. So for now, I'm really keen on building up my experience within the waste team and gaining more experience attending incidents. So I love to develop my career and work towards a technical specialist role. This role enables you to work to advise both internally and externally. And so you work internally and externally on changing legislations, best practices, and generally contribute professional judgment and assistance. Essentially, it means establishing and maintaining relationships with internal and external customers to understand their activities and promote and enhance Environment Agency goals and reputation. So this role also allows you to maintain the on-site element too, which, like I say, because I enjoy being outdoors, this is great. So if it's not already clear, I would certainly recommend working for the Environment Agency. Its roles are extremely varied and there's plenty of opportunities to switch up within the Environment Agency. But creating a better place and environment is definitely at its core.
My name is Jack Hale. I'm 26 and I work for the Environment Agency as an environment officer. I've worked for the Environment Agency for about 4.5 years. My main responsibilities in this role is to assess and respond to environmental incidents reported to the Environment Agency. These can include waste crimes and water pollution. Alongside this, I have a portfolio of sites with an environmental permit, which I have to regulate. No 2 days are identical, as there is forever new work coming in. My route into this role was via a short-term temporary contract as a summer assistant with the Environment Agency, collecting and sampling the water all of the beaches across Cornwall. I continue with this as a maternity cover before moving across into my current role, where I also started out on a temporary contract before it was made permanent. I chose the Environment Agency for the role. It sounded interesting and it was directly linked to my environmental science degree from Plymouth University. At the interview, I got a good feeling from the panel about their experiences of working for the Environment Agency, but over 70 years combined between the 3 people on the panel. This says a lot about an employer. The main benefit I get for working for the Environment Agency is flexible working arrangements around personal and family life. I like to move my hours around during the working week to ensure that I can make the best of any good weather we get and take walks and cycles with my family when I can. In the future, I plan on continuing to work for the Environment Agency. The varied work patterns, opportunities to grow, and salary for my part of the country is competitive, which is encouraging me to stay. I know there are other internal opportunities I wish to explore in the future, but at the moment, I am focusing on learning to do my absolute best work in my current role. I would 100% recommend working for the Environment Agency. I'm so pleased with the career path I have chosen at the moment, 5 years after leaving university. It's certainly challenging and I do have difficult days, customers and sites, but the rewards of good environmental outcomes certainly outweigh this.
asked today to explain a little bit about what I do here at the Environment Agency. Firstly, my name's Nathan. I'm 33 years old and my current role is an Environment Waste Officer based at the Environment Agency. You might wonder what that entails. So my job in Hale, pretty much I go about regulating waste facilities, which will include your landfills, your household waste recycling centres, or more commonly known as your tips, your local tips. Help deal with your hazardous waste. Then you've got your inert waste, so you're more like your soil and stones, for example. We also play a huge part in helping tackling crime, more like waste crime, which will include your illegal waste sites, your illegal burning, and your fly tipping. Now, with waste crime within the environment, we work very closely with the local councils, local authority, who will take on smaller fly tipping incidents, for example, and then your bigger incidents, so your more industrial size fly tipping will then get passed on to the Environment Agency for ourselves to investigate. So my route to working in the Environment Agency is not your more typical route. It's probably not what you would expect. In 2004, I left school, got a part-time job at McDonald's. I attended the sixth form where I studied law, biology, sports science, and then went on to Newcastle College to continue studying sports science. In 2007, I didn't see myself working within the sport industry, and changed my path and studied criminology. Following 3 years, and I graduated in 2010, and then I was still working at McDonald's where I progressed up to management. 2014, I decided to go and explore the world. I travelled through 26 countries over the following 4 years. That covered large parts of North America, South America, Asia, in Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Europe. Then got back in November 2017, where I started working for Asda and then to Sainsbury's as a customer trading manager. In February 2020, I had the opportunity to apply for the current role that I'm in within the agency. Why did I choose the EA? I've always had a passion to try and create and maintain a good environment, and I've always wanted to work within the public sector. Now, the public sector, especially the Environment Agency, has many attracting benefits, which include your excellent work-life balance, flexible working, support from top to bottom, which is second to none. Never experienced the support quite like it, and the inclusive culture that exists within the agency. Going on to explain a little bit about the opportunities that I've had here at the EA. Now, I've only been with the EA for a very short period, just over a year now. So I haven't had possibly the opportunities which you'd probably normally expect, considering the pandemic that we're in, because obviously we're all working from home now. However, I have had the training and the opportunity to help learn and develop with different departments, like the waste crime team and land and water. The waste crime team have helped me with helping investigate the illegal waste sites, and they're always there for support. So, what are my future aspirations? I want to continue working in my current role for the next few years, and then I think perhaps I'd like to become a waste specialist, and then possibly a team leader. Now, there is bigger waste sites. There's a department called Installations within the Environment Agency, which deal with your bigger waste sites, and they require more in-depth regulations. So there is that path as well. So, would I recommend working for the EA? The short answer would be yes, 100%. And the EA is a great place to work. I have no regrets and can see myself spending my whole career here.
Hi, I'm Shell, I'm 35 and for the last 2 years I've been an Environment Officer in the Environment Management team. 3 key things in my role: regulation, incident response and enforcement. The regulation really involves making sure permit holders are applying to their permits. Key things are water resources, which is mainly farmers in our area in East Anglia, making sure they're taking the right quantities at the right time of year and from the right places. And water quality involves regulating water companies mainly, making sure they're not polluting too much. Incident response, during office hours and on call. That involves responding to any possible pollution incidents, land, water and sometimes air. Basically trying to find out what caused the pollution and trying to clear it up. And off the back of those 2 is enforcement. So if they're polluting on purpose or not complying to their permits, we can take enforcement action. Anything from advice and guidance all the way up to prosecution. What route did I take to get this role? Well, a bit of an odd one really. After 16 years in healthcare, I decided I had enough and wanted to follow my childhood dream of working outside in the environment. So I ended up just applying for random jobs in the environment agency just to try and get in the door. After trying for about 2 months, I found a job for a waste team. So I applied and I was really lucky and got an interview. Went to that. I passed the interview process, but I didn't get a job with a waste team because too many people had passed. So I was offered one in the land and water team for drought work. However, it was only a fixed term contract. So thought about it over the weekend and decided to go for it. So accepted the job, and then it was a 6 months contract which got extended twice, and then I was made permanent, thankfully, because another team member left. So I had no prior experience, just passion for the outdoors. Why did I choose the Environment Agency? I'd heard great things about it from a chap that I'd actually met on holiday. And we'd got chatting and he said just apply for anything. I'd heard mixed reviews about the Environment Agency previously because they get a bit of a bad rep on Facebook and Twitter and things like that, but I didn't really know anything much about them. So I thought, yeah, why not? Give it a go. So I did. I'm really glad I did. Benefits of working for the Environment Agency. So many. The best thing is the flexi time and being able to work from home. As long as you do your contracted hours and it suits the business, you can do your hours that suit you. I do 8 till 4, some in the team do 9 till 5, some do 10 till 6. And in the minute, when we're all working from home, it's great. You can fit it around family life. Another benefit is support networks. There are so many different networks within the agency, from cat and dog lovers to crafting networks, but then mental health, well-being, literally any topic, there's a support network for you. It's great. Another great benefit is everyone's like-minded. We all want to do our best and help protect the environment, which also leads on to personal lives. We all love the outdoors, and we're really lucky in our team. We get on really well socially and we often go on walking holidays, but we haven't been recently. What opportunities have I been given? Have you had a chance to move around? I personally haven't had any opportunities yet because I've only been here 2 years and I want to get to know my current role a bit better. But we have got a team member who's been with the agency for 10 years and who's done work in every team apart from flooding, so she wants to tick that off. And then she's worked in every department. But we get loads of opportunities to move around, to do assignments in different teams, then come back to our main team. It's great. Aspirations for the future. I would like to try and work in other teams just to try it out. to get to know what they do, but I'd love to stay in our team and specialise in agriculture and water resources because I find it really interesting. And would I recommend the Environment Agency? Definitely. It's a fantastic place to work. Everyone's like-minded. Everyone wants to do their bit for the environment. And it's just a great atmosphere. I definitely recommend it to friends.
Hi, my name is Matthew Northedge. I'm 24. I work for the Environment Agency in the Regulated Industry team as an Environment Officer, and I'm based in our Trentside offices in Nottingham in the East Midlands. So what does my role entail? Well, I'm a Regulated Industry Officer at the Environment Agency based in East Midlands in Nottingham. And what this role basically does is we inspect sites, waste sites or installation facilities who hold an environmental permit with us. Now, an environmental permit is something that an operator has to have to allow them to carry out certain activities, and these will have a lot of rules and sort of regulation they will have to abide by to ensure that they can carry out the activity without harming the environment. So there's a load of different types of sites that we would regulate. These can be things such as power stations, bio-waste facilities, landfills, end-of-life vehicle sites, and waste treatment and waste transfer stations in general. So it's quite varied. Other things that I do in my role, I may actually be required to respond to certain environmental incidents. So I might be asked to respond to a flooding event, or I may be asked to respond to fires at a waste site we have, or whether there's a drought, I may be asked to help out in terms of improving the resilience we have to respond to the incident. And other things we do in our role is that we also enforce against a lot of illegal waste sites. So obviously what I was talking about there about permits, if there's a site that's carrying out an activity that doesn't have a permit, well, that's not fair on the other operators, and they're doing things that are undercutting the rest of the industry and may also be doing things that could significantly harm the environment. So we would go and inspect these sites and try and bring them back into compliance with the environmental permitting regulations and try and prevent any harm happening to the environment. So what route did I take to get into this role? Well, currently I'm at the start of my career. I've been at the agency now for about 2 years in this one role. But prior to this, I went to school and I did my GCSEs, did reasonably well, got 9 A stars to C, and then after that I decided to join my local sixth form, study some AES levels and A levels, and I'd got A levels in geography, history and maths. And I've always been really interested in my geographical studies, so I decided that I wanted to take that further, and I studied at a degree level at the University of Leicester. And over those 3 years at university, I gained a lot of skills in how to collect data, how to analyse data, and a wide range of skills. And after that, I left university and I decided, obviously, I wanted to start a career. And it took me a while to find a job. I had to do a lot of interviews, and I think largely that was because I struggled to find what job would suit me. But when I found this job, I was really interested in it, and I think I was able to sell myself a lot better just because it better suited me, and I really like the agency and the organisation and what they stood for. So why did I choose to work for the Environment Agency? Well, throughout my life, I've always been really passionate and interested in, geography and the environment. I love going on walks in the countryside. Peak District is just on my doorstep, and I've been lucky to go on some incredible holidays and see some amazing places around the world and some amazing landscapes. And I always just find this really fascinating, and I love learning about it. And so, I studied geography, and purely because it was my greatest interest, and I just love learning about it. And when I left university, I wanted to make sure that I did a job that was geographical based, because it was this, it's where I got most of my skills from. It was the stuff that I was most interested in. But also, looking at the world today, there are a lot of major issues in the world. Climate change, resource management, waste, pollution, just to name a few. These are huge issues, and I wanted to work for an organisation that helped combat these issues to make sure these landscapes are treasured for future generations to appreciate. And so I knew that the Environment Agency was the leading organisation in the UK under DEFRA that sort of deal with ensuring that we manage the environment and keep it safe for future generations. And they share a lot of the same beliefs and ethical views that I do towards it. So I wanted to work for the organisation because I knew that they were good, but they were also doing a job that I knew that I would find fulfilling, because I'd constantly be learning, but I'd always be doing a job that I knew was helping to benefit society and the environment. So what are the benefits of working for the Environment Agency? Well, for me, leaving university, I wanted to make sure that I still carried on learning, purely because I knew it'd be important for my career development. And the great thing about working for the Environment Agency is that when I first started, I started on a training grade, and they've given me the time and the resources and the money to help me improve my on-job development, and have been actively encouraging me to take time aside whilst carrying my role to focus on my development, which is really good for me going forward. Other benefits of working for the job is they provide a really good competitive salary and a very generous pension, which, in the long term will be something that will be really good for me personally. Other things is, I've always had a really strong passion about the environment and geography. And I'm working in a job that helps combat some of the major issues we face in society today, such as climate change, resource management, and pollution incidents. And I feel like I'm doing a job that is very fulfilling to me, and I'm still constantly learning on the role. So it's really good. But other than that, the people who work here are incredibly friendly. It's an amazing organisation with a wide range of other benefits, and I just love working here. So what opportunities have I been given in the Environment Agency? Well, firstly, they've actively encouraged my personal development. I knew when I applied for this job that the first 2 years of my career would be purely focused on development, and they've provided me with the time, resources and money and expert training to help improve my ability in the role and to make sure I'm a competent environment officer. Other than that, they provide a wide range of other opportunities. For me, being able to move around in different work packages. So on one day I might be working in a landfill package where I'll be looking at landfill sites, which may be conducting an inspection at the site or looking at their monitoring returns to make sure there's nothing wrong in terms of landfill gas that they're emitting or problems with leachate or groundwater pollution. That for me is something that's been really interesting to get to know the role and the different aspects of regulation that we do with environmental permitting. But for me personally, I haven't yet taken the opportunity to move around other teams of the Environment Agency. That's purely because I'm training at the moment, but I know that the Environment Agency offer it and actively encourage it. So I know that if I wanted to in the future, wanted to try work in a different team to see how well the Environment Agency work, I could take up an apprenticeship or a placement in our Sustainable Places team, or in our Sampling and Analysis team, or in our Environmental Crime team, amongst many others. So what are my aspirations for the future? Well, currently, as I've mentioned, I'm still focusing on my personal development in the role. So when I first started, I knew that the first 2 years of my job would be purely focused on development and training. And I'm coming towards the end of that, and I've got a meeting next week where hopefully I'll get that signed off. But after that, in the more long term, I want to apply to become a practicing environmental regulator, which will be more of an industry recognised qualification, and will provide me with more skills and knowledge on how to conduct the role. Other than that, I also want to potentially apply for a charter seat with the Institute of Environmental Management, which will also provide me with more skills and knowledge on how to do the role, and another recognised qualification. And the good thing about working for the Environment Agency is they will encourage me to do this and will support me with it. But after that, hopefully with all these skills and qualifications that I'll hopefully gain in the near future, it will provide me with the opportunity hopefully to progress in my career, so to maybe become a team leader in my team, or to become a senior officer in my role, which would be really good, obviously. But if in time I choose that this role isn't for me, I may decide to move and try an apprenticeship or a placement in another team in the Environment Agency to see if I'm better suited for that job, or just to try something new. So yeah, there's a wide range of things that I'm thinking about doing, but at the moment I know for sure that I want to stay in the Environment Agency because it's a great organisation to work for. So would I recommend working for the Environment Agency? Well, absolutely. It's an amazing place to work. It's a great organisation who care a lot about your health, safety and well-being, your personal development, and whether you enjoy the role and whether you're good at the role. Other than that, the people here are incredibly friendly and incredibly nice, and I'm learning so much from the people around me, and they're always willing to help. There are a wide range of benefits of working for the Environment Agency, including a competitive salary and a really great pension scheme. And ultimately, yes, because I'm doing a job that I love, I'm constantly learning about environmental issues and doing a role that helps combat that, and I find that really fulfilling. And at the end of the day, this job and this organisation provides me with a great work-life balance.
Thank you for listening to the Environment Agency's Career Week broadcast. And here is where you can find out more information about our career opportunities. So if you Google Environment Agency jobs, and from there you will be able to, it will take you straight to our jobs site. If you register for our jobs board and then sign up for job alerts, and you can click graduate roles, apprenticeship roles, internship roles, whatever takes your fancy, and then you will automatically receive updates via email when those jobs become available. You can also find more information and contact details on the Environment Agency Learn Live page. If you look under each day, there'll be a list of emails and links, and we'll pop some in there for you.
Thank you to Pam and to all of the environment officers at the Environment Agency that we have heard from today for hosting this extremely important broadcast. It's been brilliant to hear everybody's experiences and routes to how they have got to where they are today. And thank you to you guys for watching. I hope that something you have heard today has interested you. Remember, if you have any questions for any of the team at the Environment Agency, please leave them in the live chat, which is to the right of the video player. A member of the team will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you want to see more broadcasts such as this, make sure to hit the subscribe button just above so that you can keep up to date with all the information that you need. That's all from us today. Join us this time tomorrow as we explore more into the routes and careers at the Environment Agency. You won't want to miss it. Stay safe and stay connected.
Welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So let's have a look at how to use